Guys, when you stutter, when you use filler words like, like, and all of these variations, you are screwing up your sale. And I know that you know this. And today what we're going to do, and what I want to do, is show you 3 ways that you can stop stuttering today. Hi, my name's Deepak Shukla from Pearl Lemon Media. This is the Pearl Lemon Sales Training Channel, and this is your life. And that's Jenny. So, point number 1. Record yourself. If you are not yet recording yourself and listening back to what you say and the way that you say it, then you are not truly identifying how often you do or you don't use the word so I went out so I went out yesterday, and at around 10 I saw Frank. So yesterday I went out, right, and then I saw Frank. Yesterday I went out, at 10 I saw Frank. Do you see the difference of what I'm trying to demonstrate here, and how have I been able to identify that, and therefore how can you? When you record yourself and when you play it back, and yes, it's going to be uncomfortable, yes, it's going to be a bit weird, but yes, it's going to help you recognize through self-reflection, self-editing, where and when and what are the circumstances around which around the moment that you say or you pause. And this is really powerful, okay? This is something that you definitely can do today. So record yourself, play it back, and start to become aware of how many times that you use that word. Adina, one of our project managers here at Pearl Lemon, our brand director, she pulled out a transcript of an interview that I did some time ago. I won't say what video it was. You know what, I will. It was with Woo Rank, and it was Q&A about local SEO, and at that time, for whatever reason, my bad, I used the word she said 43 times. We actually had a big fat argument because I was unhappy because it was my ego at her, and that was as little as probably 3 months ago. My point is that we will all make mistakes, right? Sometimes we will all make mistakes sometimes, but the way to stop making it all of the time is to begin to look back, to analyze what it is that you're doing, and the fact that I have really made my mistakes on YouTube, made my mistakes recording a bunch of videos with selfie sticks and all of this stuff, right? It's helped me become a more effective salesperson, really a more effective communicator, because what we're talking about, and this is why I say it, that this is your life with sales, and why it's so critical to everything that you do, is because, hey, when you're walking up to your potential partner in the bar, when you're talking up the potential chef to get an extra dollop of rashers of bacon on your meal, when you're talking to the actual cinema attendant to get a little bit of free popcorn, you're in sales. All of it is sales. All of it is relationship building. And the less that you use words such as the more that you become powerful. So, record yourself. Right? Number 1. Number 2. Practice talking about random subjects for 60 seconds without using a filler word. Right? I'm going to say that again. Tip number 2. Practice talking about random subjects without using filler words. Why random? Because it's easier to actually talk about subjects you're comfortable with without using the word because you can get into a mode of telling a script. And scripts are great, scripts are powerful, but there's always going to be unknowns when you face any kind of sales environment, right? We're not talking just about cold calling or appointment setting or getting on the phone. We're talking about life, my friend. And what's critical with something like that is that you need to have the ability to improvise, to think on your feet. And that comes from practicing. So let me give you an example of me doing improv. So I'm going to, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see it. Let's see if I can bring it in. Let's see. Yeah, I think you can see it there. Yep, I've got my trusted Casio here. I'm gonna reset the clock, and I'm going to try and improvise for 60 seconds about cartels. A cartel is a type of gang or organized crime unit, and cartels are criminal organizations that have made popular media because of their affiliations or the popularization of these lives of violence. We've seen it within the hip-hop industry about the talk of drugs and it being almost like rock and roll, and we see the same thing with cartels. Examples of cartels would be the Medellin and the Cali cartel, as evidenced by Pablo Escobar with the actual series that you've seen on Netflix. It's become very popular today, and there's other variations of it, okay? So cartel, I think, is a particular term that relates to the cartels, i.e. the gangs that typically get involved in things such as racketeering, bribery, drugs, guns, trafficking of various kinds from Mexico, and equivalent terms in different countries. Okay, guys, that was 1 minute 15 seconds. Did you see how I started? And I want to break down those first 15 seconds to you and rewind this video back if you can. I want to break down those first 15, 30 seconds where I literally started with an, Jenny, don't give a shit. But my heart was beating because I'm on camera, but mainly because I was on camera and I was talking about something that I had no clue that I was going to say. I was thinking xylophone in my head. But what happens when you start, you go through the experience of being nervous, you do it in the safety of your own home, of course, and you can then allow yourself the safety or the comfort of making mistakes. And what happened is that my heart was fluttering, I was getting nervous, I was erring, and then I was able, whilst I was talking, to take a step back and to start thinking 15 seconds ahead. 15 seconds ahead was how I began to think, okay? And that's what you need to do to really help cut out the levels of the fillers, because when you practice unknown, unforeseen, given to you subject for 60 seconds, do it for 3 times a day, right? If you haven't got 180 seconds, because it is the difference between making $5,000 and $150,000, literally, it can make a $145,000 difference if you cut out your stuttering, your stammering, your ers, and anything that slows you down and gets in the way of what you're trying to say. These videos are unscripted. These videos are coming from the place in my mind that's come as a consequence of thousands of hours of sales. And the way that I was able to practice that was I was so often in situations that were new, that were unforeseen, that were unexpected, and I had to think on my feet to make a great impression. And the way that you can do that, guys, shortcut what I did, do it better than me. Practice talking about a subject that you've got no idea about for 60 seconds, 3 times a day, and watch your ability to think 15 seconds ahead improve. That is tip number 2. Tip number 3, consistency. It's something that's easy to say. It's something that I know that you know, but I know that you don't often do it. So, be consistent with your actual practice of number 1, recording, and number 2, talking about subjects that you don't know. And these are the 2 critical components that really only get raised up by number 3. Be consistent, practice over time, do these things, and don't worry if you don't do it religiously day upon day, because it's all about being 1% better than whatever it was relative before. So for me, being 1% better might be being 1% better than an hour ago, or 1 day ago, or 1 month ago. Do the same. Or mate, if it's 3 months, then fine. Call it 3 months. But just get on that journey of practicing. Get on that journey of consistency, because your time in the game of less stuttering, less fillers, less stammers will make you so much more powerful when you communicate, whether it's to the woman that you love, Daniela, whether it's to the cat that you cherish, Jenny, whether it's to you when we're talking about the possibility of working together in business. My ability to communicate in absence of stammers, stutters, ums, you know, you like what, okay, will directly impact your ability to trust in what I say. This is Deepak Shukla. This is Pearl Lemon Sales. And the first point was making sure that you, and I've forgotten, because these are unscripted, right? The first point was recording yourself. The second point is practicing unspecified subjects for 60 seconds, 3 times a day, as often as you can. Try and do it as often as you can, which is actually number 3. Practice, guys. Consistency. You'll win, right? You will win, I promise you that. And as I said, this is Pearl Lemon Sales. I'm Deepak Shukla. It's a pleasure, because this is your life.